friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video I wanted to share a little project I'm doing in my front garden. I'm actually thinking of redoing this little section here that actually was just curved in here and going back there. I'm actually thinking of making it a bit more complete with this curve here, and I'm trying to rearrange some of these plants that are in here. I have creeping phlox here, I have some dianthus, and I have some catmint, and I recently got a few new roses that I'm thinking will kind of look really nice in this spot. I can create a bit of a rose garden here as well, and then I can use all of these other plants that are more like supplemental, just on the edges. So that's what I am planning to do. I do have a few cat's pajamas catmint. I do have a creeping phlox which is starting to green up, and it might be a good time for me to divide it a little bit and spread it along the border a little bit so that it kind of spills over. And I also have a heuchera there which I might keep in that spot, and then I have the standard here, and I have my rock garden which has a few plants in there, and then I have a whole big patch of bulbs which I am thinking of adding some annuals once they are done. So that's the plan so far. So I'm going to work on this section and I will show you what I'm thinking, and as I place the plants, what I'm planning to do. I just need to remove some of this grass from here, and then I will I just wanted to back so you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create a straighter line here, and I think it's going to look really nice once the plants are in here. I have a few roses that I recently got. I have a Boscobel by David Austin which I want to plant in this section, and I also have a couple of Kordes Roses. If I can fit them in here, I will put them. If not, they will go in my backyard. But I'm just going to work on this section and I'll show you when I'm all done. And also, as I am kind of working and placing plants, I will take you along and show you. So here is my progress so far. I have created a border, I have removed the sod, and I think I've arranged the stones the way I like them. I'm still going to play around with it a little bit and see how I want to change the stone placement a little bit. I'm not too thrilled with it, so I'm going to play around a little bit with it, but trying to reuse some of these stones that were there already. And I moved this big stone from that corner here, and I'm thinking of putting the creeping phlox around here so it kind of spills over, and then that way that space kind of becomes free for me to plant some roses there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be moving those around, and I'm going to actually change the shape a little bit here till I'm pleased with it, and then I'm going to move that creeping phlox in here. So let me get on with it and I'll show you how it's progressing. This is what I have done, is I have found some more rocks that were lying around in the backyard, and I've decided to make this more like a rock border. It kind of mimics the rock garden stones that I have in there, and I thought it would be nice to repeat the stones here instead. So what I'm going to do is I have these two really large clumps of phlox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide them. They are really thick, so I'm going to use my hori knife and I'm going to cut them in half, and I think I should be able to get 5 nice clumps that I can dot around here so that they kind of create a nice ground cover border over here, spilling over these rocks. So that's what I want to do with these creeping phlox. And then I have a little lime hydrangea here which is still a very small size. It's just budding out, as you can see. So I'm gonna be moving it in this spot just behind this creeping phlox, and then what I'll have is a nice section here to plant a nice clump of maybe 3 roses in there. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Let me divide this up, get these phlox in the ground, and it's a nice day today to do this because it's raining and it's quite cool, so it's a good day to kind of get on with this task and get it done. So I'm going to get along with it and I'll show you the progress as I go along. But I'm really liking the stones, how they are looking, and I think with the phlox they will look amazing. I want to show you that I have put the creeping phlox all along these stones, and I know it looks a little bit beat up right now because I've divided it and it's unhappy because it was just starting to grow. But I'm hoping that as spring progresses, it's going to fill in and it's going to like its new position and really fill in and create a nice edge around here. So what I'm also doing is I'm going to be planting a couple of David Austin roses. This is the Boscobel rose, and it is a very nice fragrant David Austin rose. It'll get about 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide, so it's not a very big shrub rose, and it has got a very nice strong perfume and beautiful bright pink with a little tinge of, I think, coral in its petals, and it's really pretty rose. And I've been wanting to add this rose to my garden for a while, and I just placed these online orders and I just picked them up today, and I want to get them in the ground. The leaves are so healthy, the plants look so good and ready to go. And I'm also planning to add a Kordes rose along with it. This one is called Dark Desire. As you can see, it's got really deep violet red flowers, really dark and intense. And I think they might look good with this rose, or I might add a different rose. I'm really not sure on the third rose that I want to add here, but I also have Summer Romance, which is a very nice light pink colored rose by Kordes, which is also a very pretty rose. But I feel like a contrast might look good here, but I'm not really sure. So I'm going to still work on getting these 2 roses in the ground, and then I'll decide on the third rose if I'm adding it or if I'm skipping it altogether and just keeping it to Boscobel here. So these are the 2 roses I'm adding here, and I'll get them in the ground. It's about to rain, and I really want to work before it starts to really pour and get these in the ground so that I don't have to water it, and it's going to be nature's water on them, so they'll really love that. So I'm going to get them in the ground, and I'll show you when I'm all done. I'm done with the rearrangement and replanting of some of these things, and I wanted to show you how this turned out. I really love this. So let me just take a step back and show you. So what I did was instead of this bed going that way, I extended it to kind of curve from there and come out here. So this is what I added today. And what I also did was I divided my creeping phlox and I laid it all around the edge of this border. And then in there I had a few cat's pajamas, Catmint Nepeta, and this is the Proven Winners Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. It doesn't get too huge, it's going to stay a bit more compact. So I have a few of them dotted around. I have one over there, I have one here, and I have one over there, and I have a couple more on the other side as well. So I have those dotted around here. And the roses that I planted was, this one is called Dark Desire. So this is a Kordes rose, and it's a very nice violet red, deep dark colored rose. And it's going to get about, it says over here about 4 feet tall and about the same in width. So that's what it's going to do. And I like that this is going to be a nice dark color at the edge of this border. I think it's going to really add this punch of color. And then in the back over there, I added some geums that I recently bought as well. These are the koi geums. So they are more of the compact size geums, and they have these beautiful orangey red blooms, which I think will look really nice with the pinks and reds over here, as well as the purple of the Nepeta. And then I think these phlox also bloom like a pink, violet pink color. And then these are the 2 Boscobel roses that I planted quite a bit close to each other. I think they're about 18 inches apart. And I think I like it that way because I want them to kind of look like one big shrub. And then around here I have some dianthus, which was here already. I just moved one of them in the back there, so it kind of forms a trio here. So this should fill in, and then there is a Nepeta here as well. So I'm gonna see how this border fills in. There might be some pockets where I may add some more kind of ground cover kind of stuff here, but I'm not really sure. I think this will be good for now. And what I also added here was this one is called an Arabella clematis. So this is supposed to be a freestanding clematis. which I planted from bare root, and I had this growing, so I thought I would put it in this spot and see what it does. I might have to give it some support because it doesn't look like it's going to support itself. We'll have to see. This is my first time growing this clematis, and I'm going to see how this turns out. I might add a little bit of a bamboo support to begin with and see what it does, or I might just let it crawl around here and do its thing. So that is something also that I added. And what I also did was I moved my little lime hydrangea to this spot. I had an annual here which was dead, so I kind of pulled it out and I moved the little lime hydrangea here. I have two other little limes here, and I know these will never get to their full potential because this is an area that gets dumped a lot of snow, and these branches are going to constantly keep breaking. So I know that I'm going to have to keep them really short, and for most years they are going to grow from very tiny stems. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay to keep the compact size. Last year they bloomed really nicely, and I just like having them here. I love the blooms that they produce, so I will keep them here, and I think they are now in a grouping of 3 here, which I think will look nice. And then what I did was I added the summer romance rose in the back over there. I had a tree peony there which didn't make it. For some reason it never took off in that spot, and I was giving it some more time there, but it didn't work for me over there. So I removed it and I added the summer romance rose there. This is another Kordes rose. Let me get closer to it so I can show you the tag. So this is a beautiful pink rose by Kordes, has a beautiful fragrance, and I'm excited. I've heard a lot of good things about this rose, so I'm excited to try this. I love Kordes roses. They are really pretty and disease resistant, and I can't wait to see how this one does in the spot. It's going to add a lovely pink color here, and it's also going to, I think, get about 4 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. So I think it'll be filling in that spot really nicely. So that's all the change and renovation that I did in this front garden bed today. It's a rainy day and it feels good to get some gardening done. I have to come and clip these tags and let these plants settle in. I gave them a little bit of water, and it's going to rain, so I think they're going to be fine. And I think this patch here is looking good. It's going to fill in very soon. I'm hoping the phlox is going to bloom and fill in soon and look really gorgeous in here. So very excited to get these plants in the ground. I still do see some gaps, but I think as these plants grow, we'll see how they do, and I'm sure there's always a plant or two that can be tucked in. So with that, I wanted to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are out in your garden doing something to your garden in the spring, because spring is always a time to kind of make a little bit of a change, and I was feeling like doing this change today, and I'm so glad that I did, because it feels really good. The plants look happy, and I love how this front border is coming along, and it's looking really nice. Can't wait to share more of this with you as the season progresses. Please do give this video a thumbs up and let me know in comments below what you think, and I will catch you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.